we're practicing Kundalini yoga. You all know that. One of the reasons why we practice Kundalini yoga is to release more energy into the system. So we probably heard this a lot before. What is it that prohibits us from not doing the things that we need to do in life? We can have all sort of kind of mental ideas of like why we cannot do something, but when it comes down to it, it's just energy, right? And have you ever had the experience that you had something that you wanted to do, maybe for a long time even, and then all of a sudden you're just able to do it? You're even looking back at it, you're like, wait, this was not such a big deal. Why all of a sudden? And this can be in the smallest scale. Like I for a long time had this this issue, which is silly, but it's very good actually as an example, where I would just like instead of like rinsing off my dish and just like wash it right away, which makes life so much easier, I would just kind of put it to the side, right? And it's like, and you just start doing that, and you're like, why couldn't I do that before? What was this weird block that I had that like I didn't want to do that, and all of a sudden I can? Of course, that's not a mental thing because I knew that that was a good idea to do. I knew that that was going to make putting that dish in the dishwasher a lot easier at the end of the day. But instead of doing that, now the next step is to put it directly in the dishwasher, but I'm not quite there yet. One step at a time. But what made me all of a sudden be able to do that? Just energy, right? We have a really good expression in Danish, which is called Overskud, and I don't exactly know how to translate it into English, but it's kind of a mix between energy and abundance. Just like you have an abundance of energy, all of a sudden you have this like, oh, actually I can do the thing kind of feeling. Um, of course, the dishes is kind of a silly example, but this can happen on large scales too. Maybe there was a job that you wanted to apply for, or there was this person that you knew, and you just know that, oh, if you were going to go and have a conversation with that person, something would open up. But for a long time, you couldn't do it. So, what made it all of a sudden you could? It's this abundance of energy. And Kundalini Yoga is the system to help us try and open up and release this abundance of energy. We can get very caught up in kind of like the do's and don'ts of life. And one thing that I heard lately, which just kind of like, wow, like blew my mind, was that the only don'ts is that which prohibit your do's, right? So there's no kind of dogma around what should you do and what should you not do. But when you have enough energy and when you have enough kind of open intuition, then you can recognize your do's, so you understand better what do I need to do in life, right? You recognize the do's, and then the only thing that are don'ts are just those things that prohibit you from your do's. Does that make sense? Oh, it helped me so much to think about things in that way. I was like, oh, right. And this also means that there's no kind of dogmas in general for all of us. It will look different because whatever your dues are, the only thing that you shouldn't do is just those things that prohibit you from doing your dues, right? And paying your dues. So it's very helpful to think about it in this way. And this is another thing that Kundalini Yoga does. It just gives that abundance of energy so that you recognize, oh, right, this is what I need to do. And then you, instead of kind of self-sabotaging or get caught up in dogmas, which is also what many people are, we're just caught up in some kind of ideas what quote unquote being a good person means, or being, doing life the right way, whatever that means. But it's really just about recognizing what is it that I need to do in this life. Okay, and then I don't do those things that's going to prohibit me from doing the things that I need to do in life. Becomes very simple in that way. But that's what we're trying to do here. That's all it is. We're just trying to give that abundance or overflow of energy so that all of a sudden all those little things in life that you thought you couldn't do, or that you just simply didn't have enough energy to actually do, you start to be able to do them. And then you recognize what the right things are for you.